Hey, aloha, Eric West here, hawaiirealestate.org. Here's my top 10 list of what you need to know before selling your condo here on Maui. Get a pen and paper handy because I believe this is going to be a great checklist for you to go over with your realtor. Number one, professional photos and video, an absolute must. Don't let them go in there with their iPhone and take pictures that are dark and don't look good. Make sure they hire a professional, take pictures of every single room from every angle, including the view from the lanai, and of course, all of the features within the complex, the barbecue, the pool, different amenities that are in the complex. And certainly if it's on the ocean, what does it look like down the ocean? Make sure that they shoot on a beautiful bluebird day, which is not hard to do here on Maui, but you'd be surprised how many photos and videos I see that are cloudy. And then number two, make sure that they use aerial photos. Number two, the write-up. Now this is probably every agent's the least thing they want to do, right? They just want to write 2 sentences and call it good. Don't let them get away with that. There's a maximum word count that's allowed per every MLS. Make sure that they use every inch of square space available for those words. And I would do it as a collaboration together. Tell them why it is that you bought the unit. What was it that motivated you, that made it so special in the first place? And then ultimately, put in there unique wording, not like every other realtor uses. Make sure you use words that are very unique and exciting and different. That'll catch the consumer off guard, so to speak. And make sure you list real amenities, real things that make a difference in terms of what makes your unit special. But don't let your realtor skimp on this. Make sure it's a good write-up, read it with them, review it with them. It's a collaborative effort. But this to me, next to the photos and the pictures, is critical because people read those and it makes a huge difference in whether or not they want to move forward and check out your unit. Number three is make sure that your agent clicks the syndication button on the MLS. And what does that mean? That means that your listing will not just be on the local MLS system, but it will also get syndicated out to things like Zillow and Trulia and all the associated waterfall websites. And I would encourage you to have them give you a list of all of the websites that they syndicate through their particular company. Number four, another not very popular subject with realtors and agents is brochures. Okay, here's the key to brochures. You gotta have them. But the key is they have to be non-branded, okay? That means that your agent's photo and picture and phone number, all not on there. Why? Because other agents are not gonna wanna give those to their potential clients. So you should have non-branded brochures, full color, double-sided, inside the unit, right? And stapled to that should be a list of all of the benefits, all of the special things, the need to know. This didn't fit on the brochure, but sort of a laundry list. Because what will happen is as they're looking at all these different units, because they shop, right? They'll have something in their hand that at the end of the day, they're laying on the lanai, having a beer, looking at that particular unit, and it'll bring it back to their mind. But the key is non-branded. Number two, full color, double-sided, maximize the real estate. And then finally, staple to it a list of everything that makes your unit special. And that is so important on the day of showing. Have a stack of them on the kitchen counter. Okay, number five, open houses. When you're trying to sell a condo here on Maui, it can be very difficult sometimes because the unit is booked and we don't typically interrupt vacationers to show a unit. So I would highly encourage you to sit down ahead of time with your agent and come up with a schedule of when that unit is going to be open, say 1 day here, 2 days there, and start scheduling those open houses and make sure your vacation rental management company does not book during that time. And I would even encourage you to take 1 or 2 days in the calendar that makes sense and schedule those ahead of time for open houses so that you can show that unit to people while they're here on vacation and plan that ahead of time. Number six, in my opinion, this is probably the most powerful, unknown little secret that you need to make sure you have your agent do. And that is to email blast all of the agents on Maui every quarter until your unit sells. And basically this is sort of acceptable spam, if you will, where every agent on Maui will receive a small email saying something about your unit. It's very easy to do, it's very common, but if this step is not taken, I believe you're missing huge opportunities. Because the way it works is you've got a buyer's agent out there, they've got someone landing tomorrow, and all of a sudden this email comes across and they go, wow, that's exactly what my client is looking for. Make sure that your agent does that email blast every quarter. Very, very critical. Number seven, signage. Signage can be very difficult when it comes to a condo. Many condos don't allow it, but guess what? There are creative ways to get signs out there. By the public road, sometimes inside of the realtor's vehicle when they're on the property, they can have a for sale sign and they can have the unit number. But it's very important to have some kind of signage. Don't let them slide on the signage. figure out a way to get some kind of sign out there so that people can call when they're on island and learn more about your unit. Number 8, pricing. One of my favorite sayings in real estate is 50% of our marketing is done when we set the price. So here's some very simple things you need to ask for from your agent so that you can assess in your mind what your condo is worth. Now, I would not necessarily leave this task just to the agent. This is a very strategic moment in the whole process, and it's very important that you nail this. So here's what I would ask for. All of the sales for that particular size of a unit within 1 mile of your complex, similar bedroom count, similar square footage, and similar view and similar upgrade level. That's very easy to do in the MLS system. Everything that's sold in the last year and everything that's currently on the market and everything that's currently under contract. That is many times overlooked. There could be something that's under contract that's important for you to know. When looking at this data, you'll be able to figure out, hey, what's actually sold? That's the number that matters. Number 2, what's your competition? Put yourself in the mindset of a buyer. What would you buy if this is what was presented with you in terms of the size, the location, the price? And then finally, I personally recommend that you price anywhere from 2 to 8% above the most recent sale. That way you have a little bit of wiggle room in there for negotiation, but you're not shooting for the moon. It's not going to sit on the market for 2 years. And finally, I would ask, what are the average days on market? And this will give you an expectation of about how long you should wait before you get antsy when the unit should sell. But I believe that combination of elements will help you get the right price for your condo. Number 9, properly plan for how you're going to close the deal if you have a tenant or if you are doing a short-term vacation rental. Because what you want to make sure happens here is you don't end up losing a tenant and the deal falls through and now you're stuck without any revenue. So the best way to do this is to, number 1, know if it's a long-term tenant, you must give them 45 days notice. So 45 days before the anticipated closing date, that's when you tell them. But here's the key. Make sure that all of your contingencies have lapsed, which would be the J1 contingency, which is the inspection, the termite, and the survey. Make sure all those contingencies are passed and the deal is about as solid as it can be, and then give 45 days notice. It makes for a longer closing, but it protects you from having a tenant vacate and the deal falls through and you have to find another tenant. If you're vacation renting, make sure you understand what the cancellation policy is with your management company if your new buyer is not going to take on those vacation renters. Hopefully they will, of course. And finally, number 10, disclosure. Disclosure is the number 1 way to protect yourself from any lawsuits down the road. So how do you do this? There's a form called the Seller's Real Property Disclosure. I would take a lot of time filling out this disclosure and make sure that you disclose absolutely everything that you know about the property, good, bad, indifferent. Make sure that you disclose absolutely everything. Brainstorm and think about everything you can disclose, because in the end, that's going to protect you from a lawsuit. Disclosure is the number 1 thing that will help you and the buyer have a successful consummation of a transaction and then hopefully never see each other again, except for beers at sunset.